What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Broscast, episode 224. My name is Harrison, and I am joined by my brother Nick. As always, Nick, how you
My
doing, buddy?
brother.
On this glorious Monday, I guess.
It's so glorious today. I'm good. I'm good. Um, yeah, just have a week coming up, Just a week.
Yeah, I think everybody's got a week coming up. I mean, it's just another week, Live for the weekends, right?
I hate that. Like I hate but kind of, but
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta enjoy
I
the the
yeah,
days between,
yeah,
but you know, there's something about a Saturday. Something about waking up
yeah.
on a Saturday morning with no plans.
There's
The
nothing
day
better.
the day is open. You can do whatever.
Yeah,
Nothing beats it. Ah, that's what I had this weekend. It was great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, I've just been doing like a lot of cleaning here recently,
Yeah.
and we just went through a bunch of Kellen's toys. Because I mean, he had stuff everywhere, just like they were. It's all packed away, but it was just like all mixed together. So I went through all that stuff and kind of organized it the best I could, and we are
Mhm.
throwing a bunch of stuff away and donating some other stuff. So just some toys that he just doesn't play with anymore.
Now
So
you gotta think, are you throwing anything away that he would have nostalgia for later? Is he at
I
that
don't
age
think
yet
so.
where
Like
he's like,
we still got all his Mario stuff. We've got his Minecraft stuff, his Among Us stuff. I mean, we threw a bunch of like I don't know, like crappy Pokemon cards away and just a whole bunch
Mhm.
of other just kind of junk, like McDonald's toys kind of level of junk, just like but not the like
Not
good
the
ones we
not the
had
good
growing
one.
up. These
Back in
suck.
our day.
Yeah, like the McDonald's toys today are just awful. Um, but so yeah, just throwing a lot of stuff away. Um, yeah, just kind of doing a summer cleaning, I guess. Like I went to Home Depot and got a bunch of like kind of the packing boxes. So
Yeah.
and my next goal is this week. Because I think it's supposed to rain Wednesday or Thursday. So when it cools down, I'm gonna go up in the attic and throw a bunch of stuff away and kind of organize everything. Um, so
Gotta
yeah,
wait till
just
it cools down, man.
dude, it was like 97 degrees today. It was so freaking hot.
Yeah. I'm sure that it's the same for anyone else in the
Yeah.
US because I have some team members at work. They're based in Colorado, and
Oh
even
god,
there,
it's probably
it's like 90 something degrees. And
yeah.
I think the humidity is a little bit lower, but if it's hot, it's hot. It doesn't
Yeah, it's
matter
hot.
how
It's hot.
humid it is. It's still extremely hot. So, ah, it's bad. I was out doing some like I like mow the grass and like trim some hedges on Sunday morning for like an hour. Like I was out there for an hour,
Just instant
and
sweat.
yeah, I came in and I was just absolutely drenched in
Yeah.
sweat. I took it. You know what sucks when you take that shower after you get done and you're still sweaty
Yeah.
after
Yep.
you get out and you're like, man, I showered too quickly.
Yep.
I
Yep.
showered too early. You got to let it like sit for a little bit.
Normally what I do is like I'll depending on like really how hot it is, like after I cut grass, I'm like overheat because I'm kind of weird. Like I definitely sweat while I'm like cutting grass, but I don't get hot until I'm done and like I sit down or I stop.
Yeah.
Then I feel the overheatness. So normally I'll just go upstairs and like get in front of our little like family having our room and just kind of sit there and cool off and then I'll take a shower right after. But yeah, I definitely understand the feeling for that for sure.
Yeah. It's like, ah, I could have done this so differently, but
Yeah.
we were in a rush. We were going to a closet appointment to get a new closet system. So we had to be there at 12. I had finished yard work at like 11:15, and I had to take a very quick
Super
shower.
quick, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You wake up, you're still, like, sweaty and hot, and you're like, "Oh god."
That was me this morning. I woke up unrelated to the yard work, but I woke up inside baseball to having a house, but like our bedroom is above our garage.
Okay, yeah.
So I think it's like due to insulation within our garage that's causing our room to get so hot, but yeah, our room just gets so hot at night compared to the rest of the rooms in the house.
Yeah, ours, I mean, ours stays pretty cool. Like, I mean, we always keep the door shut or try to at least, especially because we have animals and we just don't. They'll make their way up to our room if we don't
Yeah.
lock for them. Um, but then we have like a nice fan and stuff. So like, yeah, if I don't have a fan, like I'm waking up drenched, like drenched in sweat, and it's
That's the
the worst
that's the
feeling.
Putnam jeans right there.
Yeah, just for no reason, just at all. So
I recently got like a mouth guard from my dentist because they said
grinding
my
teeth.
my teeth are overly ground. They're like your teeth shouldn't be as grinded as they are at this point in your life. So I got like an official mouth guard from them, and I got, like,
Yeah,
molded and everything. For the past 3 nights, I've been trying to wear it all night,
yeah.
and I keep having, like, these dreams about them, like, about the mouth guard, and I
That
keep
you're gonna like
taking it out.
swallow it in or something.
Yeah, that's the fear, is that I'm gonna even though that's, like, virtually impossible to
Yeah.
swallow the mouth guard, but I keep dreaming about it, and I keep taking it out in the middle of the night. I'm like, I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to overcome this fear of swallowing my mouth guard, but
I
it's annoying
yeah, I don't like, I mean, obviously nobody likes
having stuff in their mouth at night.
stuff in their mouth, but, like, yeah, I recently had to get a cavity filled, and it's just like they stick, like, this little, like, guard up in my other side of my mouth where it, like, props my, uh, mouth open or whatever, and then you can kind of relax it on there, but
Yeah,
it doesn't relax me at all. I feel like it makes it worse, like, as far as, like, stiffness goes, and then just having, like, the yeah, just
and
then,
that was
I feel
yeah.
like I have to swallow more, like, I get that
You
sensation
you start
that
thinking
I
about it.
yeah, I'm like, "Alright, I need to swallow right now," and then yeah, but they're like, they're sucking out the saliva and stuff, and I already think I overproduce, like, saliva as well, just because like, my as soon as I get in there, I just start shooting
D
out, like,
You
the
can
gleek, you
gleek,
know?
right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can pretty much gleek on command. Um, but yeah, enough mouth talk here. Let's dive into some games because I've been playing a bunch of stuff.
I'm seeing a big list on
Yeah.
your side. I'm
I'll
overwhelmed looking
start
at it.
with a couple and then tell me about Dark Souls. But so I booted
Yeah,
up Bloodborne. Um, I've been kind of trying to figure out some stuff to play now that Elden Ring's kind of done, or is done really. Um, we're in a little bit of a lull right now
yeah.
with games, which is nice. I mean, it's always nice when you can kind of refill the backlog, but I'm going years back here. But I booted up Bloodborne for like maybe 10 minutes, and I was kind of just uh in like the is it the Hunter's Den, like the kind of the hub area?
Yeah, Hunter's Dream.
Hunter's Dream. That game looks a little rough.
Yeah, visually, it looks
Yeah.
not great.
Yeah, I remember I thought it looked a lot better than it did. And granted, it came out in what,
15?
2015, 14, something like that? 2014, something like that.
Well, 2015,
Was
I
it
think.
2015?
Because
Well, whenever the PS4 launched.
was it a launch title with a
It was a launch window title.
no.
That's when I picked up the
'Cause
PS4.
I thought Dark Souls 2 Scholars of the First Sin was 2014, Bloodborne 2015, Dark Souls 3 2016.
Oh, you just look it up?
No, that's just me thinking.
Oh,
March 24th, 2015.
2015. Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
I mean, that's like
Yeah. Okay, yeah, 'cause that's what I did. I bought a
it's like
PS4 for my
midway through
birthday.
the
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that game looks a little rough and yeah, it's I think it's a desperate need because I really want to go back and play it because it's been so long, but I've got to wait for a
You don't think you can go back? Is it 30 frames or is it
it is
60?
30. No, it's definitely
Oh.
30.
Oh, that's right, yeah,
So
because everyone's calling for a PC release
PC, yeah.
for 60. 30
Um
is rough for a
30
Souls
30 is
game.
rough for a Souls game for sure. And again, it's not like the prettiest looking game anymore. Um so and I'm playing it like I booted up on the PS5, so um great, but I don't think they did anything like I
Yeah,
don't think
there's
they
no,
updated
like
at all. So yeah, it could
yeah.
definitely use a remaster or remake or however you want to call it. Because it yeah. we need one. But I mean, people have been claiming that for years. We're always saying that, so I'm not gonna harp on it. But uh, yeah, I would
But
like
you've
to see one.
experienced it now. Like
I've
you've
experienced it. I
gone
haven't
back
played it in
and
so long. I'm like, man, are people really like? Is it really that big of a deal? Yeah, it kind of
yeah,
is.
yeah. Textures are
um,
not great.
yeah, no, they weren't. Like even like the backdrop of like the tree or whatever, like it just looked very pixelated.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't remember it looking like that. But granted, I wasn't playing on a 55-inch TV. I was probably playing on like a 32, so like probably doesn't help.
Probably 720p, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Also booted up Sekiro. I think either I think it was the night of the podcast last week. I booted it up and played for about an hour or so, and I finally beat that damn owl. 5 years in the
Round of
making.
applause, everybody.
Yeah, I was so freaking hyped, dude. And it sucked because the first time I played, or the first attempt I did, I got him almost down, like to maybe 1 or 2 hits, and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me right now. And then I fought him a bunch, and then I just like, all right, you know what? I just gotta focus on I gotta parry. I just gotta make sure I'm parrying, make sure I'm just dodging. But also with the owl is like even when you parry him, it doesn't stagger him. Like the meter doesn't fill up a ton, so you do have to get in there and attack him too. So it was kind of a combination of both. But looking back now, like his tail is not that hard to dodge or counter. So I don't know why I had so much trouble with this damn thing, but he's been done. Finally moved on and immediately got stopped by the corrupted monk. And I fought him a few times, and I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm good with this game. Um,
See, sorry to jump in. I feel like that one's easier than Owl. Like I feel like those attacks are easier telegraphed than
yeah,
Owl.
but
Like it has
he's
like the
got
spin
3
move,
different
right?
phases, and I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
3 phases, and like a second one, he goes into like some sort of shadow form where he can.
You I think you can cheese that if you get above them. Like if you get to like a
Yeah,
branch
yeah, you can
above
you
them.
can you can you can like dodge him pretty easily, but I don't know, I probably fought him 15 or 20 times, and I'm like, I don't wanna go through all this again. And apparently, and like you told me before the podcast, but apparently there's a bunch of different bosses too that
I
that's kind of
can't
like
remember if you
a ramp
fight
up.
Owl again
No, I
or
think I think well, you fought Owl
earlier in the game, right?
for and I think when like you go, I think it's one of those like the past sequences, I think, or something. Like you go into like a memory of the past or something. And I fought him there, and then the second time you fight him, you actually kill him. But yeah, it was a yeah. I'm glad I did it, but I think I'm probably done with it. It's okay.
Dang.
I feel good. I feel like that was like the one game out of all the Souls stuff, other than like Dark Souls. I haven't, but Dark Souls I never got stuck on anything. I think I tried playing it again. And I was just like, man, this doesn't run like super great.
Did
It's
you play
hard.
the
That
remastered
I
version?
did, yeah. Well, I don't know if I played the remaster or not. No, I don't think I did. I don't think I played the remaster.
I
Um,
think the remaster on Xbox runs at 60.
oh, does it? Okay, because I've got. I mean, yeah, because Dark Souls 2. Yeah, I think the Dark Souls 3 has the code for Dark Souls 1, but I think it's the original
Yeah,
on
it's
there.
not
So
remastered.
maybe I need to do that.
Well, what you really should do is continue playing Demon Souls
Yeah, I do.
because I went through the same exact thing that you did,
Yeah,
right? Like the run up to the bosses sucks,
yeah.
but once you get down once you get the bosses down, it's relatively manageable. And like
Okay.
none of the bosses outside of 4 or 5 bosses are hard. Like a lot of them have some sort of like not like some sort of mechanic to them that like you have to
Yeah.
do in order to damage them or whatever. You were stuck on the spider boss, right?
Yeah, and to be fair, I didn't fight him a ton. I had gotten to the spider and I died, and then I went
Did
back
you
to
unlock
the.
the checkpoint? Like unlock
I did, yeah,
the
yeah. I
okay.
unlocked the lift or whatever. So I mean, it's
You should do
like
it
a
again.
one. Yeah, I know. I need to. I need to. I need to pick it up again. Um, yeah, I do need to. That I really I did enjoy it. Like just visually, it's stunning.
Looks
It's
so
a
good.
stunning game. I need to go back to it because I've been itching to play some more Souls, but we got like this Flintlock game coming out pretty soon. I do want to play or at least try out the Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah, try that.
So yeah, I'm itching to play a Souls game again. So I feel like that happens like twice a year at this point. Just like I need to play some sort of Souls
Some
game.
sort of Souls game.
Yeah. Um. So yeah. I'm glad again. I don't feel like I'm missing out now. I feel like that was kind of like my big hole in the gaming world is just it's like I couldn't beat that stupid boss, and I finally did it. So I think I'm good. I may attempt it again at some point, but it's not on my mind anymore.
Yeah.
But
To be fair, like you've said you're not a big parry guy, right? Like when you played Lies of P, did you mostly parry or did you dodge?
I think I mostly dodged, but also like
Okay.
I was starting to get the parry down pretty good in Sekiro. I just had died a few times to that corrupted monk, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna pass. I was like, I'm gonna play something else.
Is the run up to that boss bad or is it
It's
right?
literally it's literally right there. Like there's a save point right outside. It's just a matter of doing. But I'm also like I have no I have nothing for any of like the arts you get. I can't remember what they're called, but like I
Oh,
don't
like
have any.
prosthetics.
Yeah, I don't have any like ammo. I guess I'm not sure what it's called, but so I've got to go back and re up on that. And it, it's been so
That's
long since I've tried to go through that game and play that I don't remember where anything is. So
right.
and that's why at first I was like, let me just restart, but then I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that either.
Yeah, because there are a lot of very hard bosses
Yeah,
in the first half of the game.
but we'll see. Again, I may go back, but Nick, tell me about Dark Souls 2 because
Oh
this is
man.
like our kind of first.
Yeah,
I mean,
both
it
of our
was it
first
was it was
games.
our
Yeah.
first Dark Souls game that we full on beat. So yeah, how does it hold up, and how are you enjoying it?
It's I'm really enjoying it. I'm doing like a strength build. I'm going heavy, I'm going like I'm not fat rolling, but I'm
Yeah,
I'm going with the great sword, like the ultra great sword, and I'm taking that play style. Um Going from Elden Ring to Dark Souls 2, it felt
yeah,
like going from the salty Splatoon to Weenie Hut Jr. Like it was such a night and day comparison. And
yeah,
like I got to the pursuer, which is it's one of the first bosses in the game. It's he has like he has like a big shield and a big sword, and his attacks are very telegraphed.
yeah,
They're pretty easy to dodge, and it's like a big like stopping point for new players. Like it's a big like skill check
yeah,
almost. And I beat like second try. Like the first try was I had like one Estus flask left after traversing the area. And the second try, I was like, okay, these attacks are pretty easy to see coming. Like it's not super difficult. Just have to dodge around it.
yeah.
Um, the weird thing about this game is that it has a stat called adaptability, and
Okay,
it's very vague on what exactly it does. And there's a lot of
sounds about
discussion.
right.
Yeah, and like you can hit like help or select, and it shows you the descriptions of all of the stats. And this one, uh, I can't remember exactly what it says, but it kind of like helps make like it increases like your resistances and makes dodging easier.
Okay,
And it's something that I didn't touch the first time I played the game, and I struggled, of course, struggled the first time I played Dark Souls 2
oh yeah,
with you know dodging anything. But apparently, when you level up this stat adaptability, it increases your iframes when you roll. So
interesting.
like,
Okay,
yeah, it's kind of yeah, it's super weird. So like
hmm.
you see it, an attack coming, and you start the roll. If you have your adaptability leveled up higher, you're invincible during that roll for a longer period of time.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Is that the only time that mechanic was in
I
a
think
Souls
so.
game? or
Yeah.
from a FromSoft game?
I think that's the
Yeah,
only time that mechanic has been implemented in, and it's been disputed on if it actually does anything, right? Of like if it
yeah.
actually increases your iframes, but
I mean,
you know,
if it says it does it, then I don't see why they would
well,
lie.
it doesn't it doesn't
Oh,
explicitly
it
say it.
doesn't like here. Okay, I got you. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
like you can see like your stat increases and all of your resistances, like poison resistance, fire resistance, curse, that kind of
And it's
stuff.
like is the is the leveling up helping, or am I just getting better at the game and I can roll better?
Right.
You know?
So I mean, yeah, that's a point of contention. Like I don't know if it actually helps, but I've leveled it up to a good amount, and I feel like I am rolling through attacks more than I did when I started the game,
Okay,
and I think it actually does something.
okay.
So
We'll say it does. Yeah.
yeah, we'll say it does, but apart from that whole kind of weird side of Dark Souls 2, um, I mean the game's great. Like all the areas are very vibrant,
Yeah.
um, fun to explore. A lot of enemies, like way more mobs than there are in you know Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3. Like
Oh yeah.
there's
Yeah. There's a lot.
yeah, there. I mean, there's a ton. It's very overwhelming very quickly, and the
It
stamina
probably
meter.
has like the most beautiful hub world too, right? The hub
And that
area.
and that music.
Yeah.
That music is just
Oh
it's
gosh,
so
make me
good.
want to go back and play it.
It's really fun, man. I'm having a great time. I'm like probably 20 hours in at this point.
Oh
With
wow. Okay, so
yeah,
you put some time to it this week.
yeah. I've
Hell yeah.
beaten like two of the like two out of the four like main end bosses of areas. So I'm pretty deep into it. But my main complaint with the game, and this is coming from Elden Ring, and then I also started up Dark Souls Remastered on the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
The stamina meter is so garbage. Like you can
Okay.
maybe get like 3 or 4 hits in before your stamina depletes, and it
Wow.
takes a
Okay.
while for it to like regenerate or whatever. And then I played Dark Souls 2 for 10 hours, and then it's like, okay, yeah, like, I kind of want to try out Dark Souls 1 remastered again. Like I played through that and just kind of wanted to see the game again.
Yeah.
And like you could get off like 7 to 8 swings of a sword before your stamina meter depletes in that game. So it's a lot different in that regard. Like Dark Souls 2 is kind of the black sheep of the franchise. Like it feels a lot different. Obviously, it's made by a different developer, or not different developer, but different like producer studio. It's not Miyazaki,
It's not
right?
Miyazaki. Yeah.
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 Um
Or did he like
he like
he didn't work on that one, right? At
no, because he
all?
was on Bloodborne at the time.
Oh,
Or no, he
interesting.
was on
No.
yeah, he was on Bloodborne.
He was on Bloodborne?
That
Okay.
came out in 2015, and then he did Dark Souls 3.
Interesting. I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, Dark
Yeah.
Souls 2 is great. I love that game a lot. I think
I
a lot of
remember
people because it's not I mean, it's not interconnected as much as
yeah,
like
not
I
really.
mean, like Dark Souls 1, like you're I mean, that hub you can go anywhere and everywhere, like but yeah, Dark Souls 2 is very, very different with that, but it's still a great Souls game.
And the individual levels are interconnected.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah, yeah, for
bonfires
sure.
interconnect with each other. And like you have like your 3 or 4 like shooting off points in the hub
Yeah.
for
And you
Dark
could
Souls
fast
2.
travel between the bonfires, right?
Yeah.
They didn't not have that in Dark Souls 1, right?
They they didn't. It was weird
Yeah.
because you can level up at the bonfires in Dark Souls 1, but you can't fast travel.
Yeah.
And in Dark Souls 2, you can fast travel, but you can't level up unless you're at the hub.
That's right. Okay, because you have to
And then
go to
Dark
the
Souls 3 did the same thing where you have to go back to Firekeep
yeah,
to level up.
which is like Demon Souls. You have to go back to the hub to level up. So is it only Dark Souls I guess 3
Well, only Dark Souls 1 that you can level up at a bonfire. And I guess Elden
and
Ring.
Elden Ring?
Because
What about
Bloodborne, you have to go
Bloodborne?
back.
You have to go back. Okay. Interesting. Okay. That's cool.
That's weird.
Yeah,
It's weird
that is strange.
that they nailed it in the first one,
Yeah.
reverted back on the second and third, and Bloodborne.
So we're gonna give you fast travel, but we're taking away the ability to level up every time.
Yeah,
That's
that's too OP,
yeah.
We can't save you that much
In
time.
Elden Ring, they're just like, nah, well, whatever.
You literally do
Yeah,
whatever you want.
yeah, do whatever you want. Cool, man.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
I've always thought about going back to Dark Souls 2, but I never did play Scholars of the First Sin, so yeah, I might have to check that out.
Did you not? You never played the like re-release?
I think I bought the DLC. I think I bought like the Scholars DLC, but I didn't buy or have the updated version.
But now you have it, right?
No, I have just regular Dark Souls 2.
Oh, is that for the
The 360.
Xbox? Oh, the 360.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which one? I think my plan is I do kind of want to own all the FromSoft stuff physically. So
Yeah.
I'll probably get one. And I'll probably find it pretty cheap too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Yeah, I kind of want to. Yeah.
My
You convinced me. Convinced me.
my final declaration is that the old Iron Keep is the worst area in all of FromSoft. I mean, we talked about this before, but there's a run up to the Smelter Demon that is absolutely terrible. You kind of have to fight at least 10 enemies to get there, and there's a bunch of archers, and there's a guy guarding the fog gate, and there's no invincibility when you press A to enter
that's
the
the
fog gate, which
worst.
is stupid. And then the run up to the boss after that, like to the old king boss, whatever. That run up kind of sucks. You do get a bonfire towards the end, but still has those same stupid night enemies. So
is Dark Souls 2 also the one that has like when you go to like the poison area and you have to like make your way down and there's like the big fat like gelatinous enemy? Is that 2 or 3?
I think that's 2.
I think that's 2. That run up is also pretty annoying too because like you start off like at the top of the hill and you have to make your way down and you're constantly getting poisoned. There's like enemies
Sounds
that shoot
right.
stuff at you. Yeah, it's horrible. Cool. Yeah, I think I need to go back and play it. Yeah. Saw your little TikTok where you're just poking the guy in the back and then just sidestepping and poking him.
That was great, man. It was so easy. Like you
Yeah.
just kind of like throw off your RT attack and hope for the best. Just do a couple of dodges here and there and do a couple rolls. But
there you go.
But Harrison, I see Final Fantasy 16 on here. Tell me
Yeah,
about it.
I bought the game. I found it on sale for like $25 or $30. So I've had it for a couple months. So I finally booted it up. It's cool. It's not what I would call a Final Fantasy game. And again, and I wouldn't even say I'm old school because I never really grew up with like the Final Fantasy stuff. Like, you know, I've played 8 and 9. I've played obviously 10's probably still my favorite. But when I think of Final Fantasy, I think of that traditional JRPG. I didn't play through 15. I played a little bit through 12, but I never played it enough to where it opened up and apparently got good. I just played it was very kind of linear. But yeah, it's definitely like a 3D action kind of game. Like it's cool. Like but it's definitely like, you know, you do your little square, triangle for an attack.
Circle to dodge.
Yep. Then but there's also a stagger meter, so you can stagger the opponents, and then you can do extra damage. And then you've also got like a kind of a special ability that's on a timer. It's pretty cool. I kind of dig I don't know how I could see it getting kind of old and stale a little bit I'm probably a few hours in now. Really enjoying the story. I think it's cool. It's definitely over the top with the they call them instead of like the summons in the game, they call them icons with that what's like your traditional like Ifrit and Shiva and all that. That's the only ones I've come across now. It does something really, really cool that I think every game should adopt is when you pause the game, there's something that comes up that says active lore, and it tells you about the lore of the environment that you're in. It tells you every character that's in the scene, kind of like Amazon Prime. Like when you pause it, it'll show all the actors' names and stuff. Kind of the same thing for this. It'll show all the characters' names and kind of give them like a brief background of where they're from and stuff like that. Like, it's really cool and kind of helpful because,
Dang.
Final Fantasy games, like, there's so much lore crammed into those games that when you initially start, especially since all those games have nothing to do with each other, like, they're all their own separate story, like, it's hard to just jump in. So that's I thought that was a really cool mechanic in
Yeah,
that
that's
game.
cool.
Yeah. So I hope a lot of more games take it they use that and steal that idea because it's super neat. But yeah, I'm a few hours in. I've been liking it so far. All the characters are pretty cool. Again, the combat is fun, but not like super super engaging. Like it's very, I mean, you can kind of just button mash if you wanted to. There's not a lot of
Right.
skill behind it yet. But also, again, I'm very early on, so I'm sure it'll kind of open up whenever um,
Have
game goes
have
I get farther in.
have you fought as an icon yet?
Yeah, so you start the game out as one of the icons, and like it's like the opening cutscene. It's very on rails, like you're just mashing a
Right. I
button to
can't
like shoot
remember
fire.
that's how the demo started.
It probably did because the demo is I think literally the first like
First 2
30
hours,
minutes
right?
or yeah 2 hours of the game or whatever. Um, so yeah, I've done two of those fights, and I think it was the same fight because it I don't know, it starts you out in like present day, and then you kinda jump to the past, and you jump back to the present day. So I think it's the
Oh,
same
right.
fight that you do. Um, Not a very engaging fight. Cinematically, it looks awesome. I mean, it's Final Fantasy game, so it looks great. Um, but yeah, I am enjoying it so far, and I'll probably continue on.
Nice.
But I just kinda wish they would. I'm really am wondering and I think 15 sold pretty well for them over time, and maybe
Yeah, I think it
16
did really
will
well.
as well. I don't know, but 15 also came out on Xbox. It was on everything. This one is just on PlayStation. Um,
Just PS5.
yeah, just PS5. So I'm kind of hoping that I don't know, maybe they'll probably say not being on everything was like an excuse for not selling, but also I think I really think when people think of Final Fantasy, it's the turn-based stuff. And obviously like Rebirth is different. That's more of a like real
Right.
time fighting. And I haven't played that, so I do eventually want to get to that. But yeah, this one definitely feels way way more mainstream than their traditional Final Fantasy game.
Yeah. I almost feel like this game came out just, like, a little bit too late because
Yeah, yeah,
it came out right before Baldur's Gate, and hopefully Final Fantasy 17 kind of, like, not follows what Baldur's Gate 3 does, but takes inspiration and just realizes that there is an audience for more of a turn-based
yes,
game.
yeah,
Like, if you
absolutely,
make a really great game, people will come to it. Doesn't matter what the combat is.
yeah.
If the story's great, people
And that
will
and that's why I'm
gravitate towards it.
so interested in that Expedition 33 game that Xbox showed
Yeah,
off at their showcase. Like, that looks fantastic, and I
awesome.
think that's what people want, from, like, a turn-based game. So, hopefully, we can get that out of Final Fantasy, but like
Yeah,
I said, I've enjoyed it what I played so far, and hopefully it ends strong or continues to stay good. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Have you played 16
just
other than
that
the
demo.
demo? Okay,
No,
okay, cool. Yeah. I'll keep you guys posted, how much more I play, but I think I'm gonna go through it for a while.
nice.
Death Stranding
Let's
is
get into it, man.
this game is peak. This game is
Shut
great.
up. Shut up.
This game, I love it, dude. I really I'm just enjoying it so
How
much.
how far are you into this game?
I'm probably like 7 hours in, maybe 7 or 8 hours.
So you've delivered some packages.
I've delivered some
You've delivered some
packages.
pizzas.
I have fallen down, which is always hilarious.
Oh yeah,
Like, I don't know, man. It's like the system is kind of annoying. Like when you're trying to deliver packages and you're constantly picking up, other people's stuff that they drop, and you feel like obligated to pick it up when you see it on your map.
of course.
Um, But yeah, it's I don't know, like, I've
Is it sa
enjoyed
like, satisfying? Like, what's the
I think
I've
I'm
always
kind
wanted
of
to go
get
back to it.
I'm kinda get I mean, obviously, this is way different types of games, but, like, I'm getting the vibe of, like, an Elden Ring, Tears of the Kingdom, where it's just fun to just kind of traverse the environment, throw on a podcast, and just call it a day. Like, it's
Yeah.
that type definitely that type of game. Now, there's definitely a lot of cutscenes. I mean, it is a Kojima game, um, and there's literally a once you're in, like, your room, whatever, I mean, it's literally a cutscene for every single little thing. Luckily, you can skip it, which is very nice. I mean, you just tap the button and you're skipped. It doesn't make you hold the button. It doesn't wait for the cutscene to start for 2
Right.
seconds. Like, you can just immediately do it. So I definitely appreciate that because that would really get annoying. Um, but yeah, just like the kind of the world building that I've experienced so far, I have no idea what's going on. It's that kind of like it reminds me of like the Sci-Fi Channel. Like, if you were to turn the Sci-Fi Channel on back in the day, like, around, like, 1 o'clock in the morning, and there's just some random, like, B-tier horror or sci-fi movie on that is so convoluted about what's going on, that's exactly what Death Stranding feels like. Um,
That sounds about right. Yeah.
it's weird, dude. It's like even, like, the name everyone's got, like, a nickname, but then it also shows their name too. Like, the main character's like his name is Sam Porter Bridges, but it's like, is Porter his middle name? Because that's what they call the delivery people in this game are porters, and then, like, his mom is actually her last name is actually Strand, so it's like, why are you Bridges? Like, it's so convoluted and
Because 'Cause
ridiculous,
you're
but
building bridges, man.
it's very on the nose with that kinda stuff, but it's still so interesting, and I can't wait to dive deeper into what the heck is going on because obviously, like, the trailer for the 2 trailers we've gotten for 2 looks so crazy,
Right.
and I wanna be and I was excited for those, and I haven't even played the first one, so I'm excited to get through this one so I can maybe understand the trailers a little bit better, but it's cool.
What chapter are you on? Are you in chapter 2?
I'm on chapter 2, yeah.
Okay, that I think I got to chapter 4.
Okay, yeah, I'm kinda making my way, like, I'm doing all the side quests and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I just unlocked the bipedal legs that you have that you can like can't remember what they're called, but like they're like armored leggings that you get that wrap around your that you can jump higher and like
Right.
have more stamina and stuff like that. Uh, so yeah, I mean the BT stuff is interesting. Like the BB stuff is so weird. Like it's incredibly weird. Um, I don't know. It's
It's
a
cool
Kojima
though.
game. Like I Metal Gear Solid 5 is the only one that I've really played of those games. And that game was super weird. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm enjoying
Man,
it.
I wanna go back and play this. I wanna do I wanna upgrade to the PS5 version and play it through.
I think it's $10 if you have it,
Yeah, I think it's $10.
or because which I've since canceled it, but I had the mid tier PlayStation which comes with like all the classic PlayStation 4 and 5 games, and that was one of them. So I was like, well, let me try it out because I was
It's a
gonna play
re
more Final Fantasy 16 yesterday, but then I played that and I pretty much played it all day and just had an
Oh
absolute
my god.
blast. Yeah, it was fun.
It's a great podcast game. I'll give it that. Like, I've thought about going back to it so many times.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
wanna go back
it looks
eventually.
great. I mean, it runs great. I think it's 60. I haven't had any clipping or anything like that, or
Yeah, like
any issues
dips.
with the frame rate. But yeah, just like seeing all the people, like it's very like it's Souls esque with all the messaging and stuff that's left behind. People can leave you ropes, people can leave you ladders. I just unlocked the ability to build bridges. So it's a cool, man.
It's a cool game.
I'm vibing with it.
Nice.
The music's good. Like whenever you're in like a big area, like they'll kind of pull the camera back and have like a soundtrack play. It's cool. I like it a
Yeah,
lot.
it gets very, like, atmospheric.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, the like, because it has, like, actual, like, voiced songs, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like a band. I can't remember what the
Ugh,
band is,
it's cool.
but yeah, it's very like atmospheric, kind of. Yeah, just yeah, it's cool. It's all the BT stuff. I ran the BTS a couple times, and like for those that don't know, they're like these floating. I don't. It's interesting because like when people die in this world, if you don't burn their bodies, they pretty much like cause like a they call it a void out where it makes like a huge crater and then they
Yeah.
turn into these like demon creatures. I don't know. And the person, like a normal person, you can't see them, so they use the BBs, which are they're the baby bridges that you strap on, and then there's like a little I don't know this little arm that comes out and can like track the BTs and stuff like that. So
It's a weird
it's
game.
it's weird. It is so weird. But it's interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting game.
You're making me want to play it again.
Yeah, but it's cool. I like it a lot. I've been kind of digging with it. The only kind of frustrating parts are just literally when you just got so much stuff and like you have to walk back to an area or something like that.
Right.
So that's the only frustrating part. But once you start connecting, because like the whole point is you're trying to create this network across America to connect it again. Um, and once you set up a new area, the zone increases. So if you're within the zone, you can set up like a portable um, post office postmark, something like that, where you can store your stuff, so you can always come back to it
Mhm.
if you need to, or you can like give other players items and stuff like that if you have like an abundance of them that you don't need. So it's cool in that way, but it's an interesting game.
I've never seen anything like it. I'll give you
No,
that.
yeah,
Yeah. For better or worse. I mean,
yeah,
it's just way different.
it's got a lot going on. And it
Yeah.
is kind of hard to keep up with. Um, but yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely gonna play some more of it for sure.
Nice.
So, but yeah, that's I mean, played a lot this week.
Played a lot.
Just kind of putting everything up. Let's dive into the news. Nick, we got a very confusing update, which is very in line with Xbox and their marketing. Xbox, if you need me to come on, like I've never had marketing experience, but like I've got to be able to do better than what you guys can cook up.
I feel like you could
Um,
condense it down to maybe just a few sentences total,
yeah, it's
right?
weird. So yeah, we got and this didn't come directly from Xbox. I think this came from Windows Central, and then Xbox corroborated or confirmed the report is
Yeah.
basically the best because I was going on their Twitter and stuff like that, and they never said a thing. So I've got the thing pulled up here. Let me highlight it real quick. So, and this was created by somebody else on Twitter, which is I guess I'll shout him out. Clobriel on Twitter.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So Game Pass Core is like the basically what's replacing the version that gets you Xbox Live is pretty much that. You do get a limited catalog of 25 games. I think like Gears 5 and Halo like Master Chief Collection is in there. I'm not sure what the 25 games are, but I think they're the same ones that were already on there. So it gets you multiplayer, those 25 games, and then like the various deals and discounts. Even though it's Game Pass, you do not get the Game Pass catalog anymore, which I don't think you got on the regular one anyways. But you also don't get day
No.
one Game Pass games, like their first party stuff.
I don't think core changed. I think that
Is,
one
is
is
core,
still
core is the
limited.
same, but standard is the one that changed, right? It's
Yeah,
so confusing. Like,
yeah, because that one no longer gets day one games.
yeah. So and it's I guess you'll still get like updates on Game Pass. Like if there's a day one maybe non first party exclusive game, is that coming? Like will if someone has
I think
Game
so.
Pass standard and Flintlock that's going to come out, is that going to be available for them or is it just first
Uh,
party?
I think they would still get Flintlock,
Okay,
but
because
yeah, first party that they wouldn't get.
this notation right here, it says day one game editions by Xbox Game Studios, Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard, ID at Xbox, and selected third party games. So I guess it varies.
Depends.
Um, but it's also going to be added at a future date, which Xbox has not confirmed that. And I think they need to get out ahead of this before this launch because I don't think this happens until September. they've got to get out there and say, okay, and it cannot be a case by case scenario. It's got to be the same across the board. It just has to be. Otherwise, it's going to be just a mess. So whether it's 3 months, 6 months, a year, after whatever the case is, like just pick something and let that be it.
Right.
Um, and then everything else, like Game Pass Ultimate is staying the same, but it's going up by a few bucks. It's now $20 a month. And then I think did PC Game Pass get a price increase? Like a
It
dollar
might have
maybe?
gone from like, yeah, 10.99 to 11.99, but they're still getting off the best.
Yeah,
You
because
know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they get the catalog, they get day one games, and it's only $12 a month, and they don't have to pay for
To play
live.
online? Yeah.
Yeah, play online.
I don't know, like, I made a video about it and stuff, and obviously, like, I was just talking about in general about just, subscriptions and, like, from everything, not necessarily just the Xbox and PlayStation, but also,
Right.
like, Hulu and everything else. I'm kinda sick of it, man. I'm just kind of sick of paying all this
Yeah.
money for all these different networks, and granted, I know we can always cancel whenever you want, and you really should just subscribe when there's something that you wanna watch, and then you cancel, but
It's hard to
it's
keep up with.
still annoying, and it's hard to keep up with. Like, there's been so many times where I've forgotten that I didn't cancel, and it renewed on me. I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna cancel right now because maybe there's something I wanna watch," and then it's just like an endless cycle, but I don't know. Like, Game Pass, I still feel like it's probably worth it for $20 a month because you do get some really good third-party stuff that comes
Yeah.
on there, but I don't know, the audacity for them to do this right before Call of Duty comes out. I mean, obviously, that's why
Of
they did
course
it.
they were gonna do that.
But it's like they have literally given us no first party games for years, and we finally are starting to get it, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna jack the price up for you." It's a
Well, we
middle
got
finger, I feel
Hellblade.
like, a little bit.
Hellblade 2.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But, like,
Not any, like, huge
what
first
we
party
get
games.
one game that's been promised for years, and then, here we are, Call of Duty's getting ready to come out, and boom, let's jack the price up.
Did any first party games come out in 2023? I know there was, like, Forza
Pentiment,
Motorsport.
Forza.
Well, Pentiment was, like, 2021.
No, that was 2022. Yeah, 2022.
Oh, it was 22.
2023.
No, it was 2020. It was 22.
Yeah, was Pentiment. But 2023, they had what, Forza? That
Is
came out, and
that it?
then they had Forza and they had, Redfall, which,
Redfall. Ah,
you know
right, right.
but, I mean, we had stuff like Lies of P, which was fantastic, so it's like, you know, I'm not arguing that it's still not a value, but with this combined with everything else increasing, like like, the analysts say that's gonna increase again probably next year, when they have all these,
25.
incredible games coming out. I don't know, man. It's It's to the point where I'm like, "Do I just cancel this crap and I'll just buy it like I like I normally did?"
Yeah, maybe, like, I'm trying to think of the Game Pass games that I've played recently, and I can't
Like
think of
this
any.
year,
Not many.
Hellblade maybe? And I guess that pays for itself, right? You play one game to completion, you paid
Okay.
$17 for 7 months, like, I guess. Plus there's probably some other stuff I dabbled in, but then again, it's all relative, like, you can always cancel whenever you want to, it's fine,
Yeah,
but
it's like we'll play Flintlock and
yeah.
Indiana Jones.
And I
We'll
wanna I
play
wanna
Call of
play,
Duty.
I always forget the name, the Capcom game that's coming out, the Goddess game. I wanna try that. I know there's a demo
Yeah.
on Xbox now, and I wanna try that. You've been playing, Lords of the Fallen on there, so
Yeah, yeah, even though I bought it.
there's always good games, but still, like
Yeah,
man,
you have to reflect a little bit and think about, what you like to play,
yeah,
what's most likely to come to Game Pass. I mean, it's just it's always just whatever works for you. Like I downloaded Neon White and
yeah.
the
I've been thinking
Ichi
about
game,
playing that.
and I played the game on Switch, and it was you should play it on
Yeah,
Xbox. It's really great. But I downloaded that and Ichina. I can't remember the name of it, but it's just like an open world game where you take control of animals.
Okay. Yeah, I think that just
You should,
recently got
yeah.
added, right?
Yeah. Like within the past week or two.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like games like that where you just, you either try them out or you already bought them on another platform and you want to play it again in higher fidelity, higher frame rate. So you download it on Game Pass. But yeah,
Yeah, and because I this announcement came out or non-announcement, I guess. I just was like, you know what? I'm tired of paying all this crap. Like, I canceled my Netflix. I canceled the PlayStation one, which I think I still have it until like October. So like it just renewed. So I can still play Death Stranding. Even like Nintendo, like we already know when Switch 2 comes out, it's gonna get a price increase. Whenever they announce like GameCube games come into to NSO, it's for sure getting a price increase. It's only a matter of time. I mean, it's relatively inexpensive now. 50
right.
bucks a year for
Year.
with the expansion pack.
It has cloud saves.
It does have cloud saves, but I don't play anything multiplayer wise on the Switch. And right now I haven't been playing the Switch a ton. Like I've been playing Paper Mario, but I've kind of fallen off a little bit on that one. I need to go back to it, but
Same here.
I don't know. I know the Switch 2 is around the corner, and I just
It's hard to pick at the Switch right now.
it is. It's very hard. Obviously when Zelda comes out, that's gonna be a different story, and I'll definitely pick that
Right.
back up. But yeah, I'm a little bit down with all these subscription services. And again, it's not just Xbox's fault, but it's just, you know, adding
It's
to
everyone
the fire of these companies.
kindling the fire.
Yeah, they're starting to see, their subscriber base kind of stagnate because, it's not going to be an endless subscription increase for forever. People are going to bounce off or, whatever the case is. So how do you get around that? Well, you just charge people more
Increase
money.
the price. If
Yep.
you're not getting new people, just gouge the people for what they're worth.
Yeah, gouge the customers you have, and hopefully they stay or they just
Yeah.
forget.
Harrison, do you mind if we take a quick break? I'm
Yeah.
gonna go use the bathroom and grab another drink.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be right back.
I'm like the worst at like switching this the news and stuff, like changing
Hey,
the
you're doing great.
topics. I guess we were on the first one, so we're up there. You ready to dive back in?
Yeah.
Sweet. So I guess to kind of piggyback off of the Xbox Game Pass stuff, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 beta is announced. Early access coming August 30th through September 4th, and then the open beta is September 6th through the 9th. So I think the early access that's for what for pre-orders and
And Game
Game
Pass.
Pass. But this is the first Call of Duty beta I think ever that has been on all platforms, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, wait, because before it's either been like early access on Xbox or PlayStation, but now it's
I think the last 10 plus years, I think it's been on PlayStation first.
right. But now it's like, okay, you can get it on Game Pass, or if you pre-order on PlayStation or
Or or
Xbox.
Xbox or PC. I think everybody kind
Yeah,
of gets a shot at it. So
that's cool.
yeah, really cool. I'm definitely
Big win.
I'm definitely I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah, I think this
I am
is like
intrigued
the
by this game.
first Call of Duty in probably 10 years that we're both kind of more interested in. Maybe that's the effect of Game Pass. Maybe it's just Black Ops
It's
coming
definitely
back.
Game Pass, but
Yeah, I
all
mean, yeah,
the stuff,
no barrier to entry.
yeah, but like all the stuff that I saw from the showcase, like looks really
Looks
cool.
cool.
Like
Like the
omnidirectional.
omnidirectional.
Yeah.
What are we, reps for Treyarch?
Yeah, that stuff looks really cool. Like it's obviously we haven't played the multiplayer in so long, but the fact that this one they're bringing back the old school prestige system
Yes.
is
Yeah.
pretty awesome because that's like probably pretty nostalgic for us just because we literally haven't played. I mean, I've skipped out on like almost all the Call of Duties except for 4 or Black Ops 4.
Yeah, same
Um,
here. That was
and
the
other
one
than
I got
that,
into.
and did you play Modern Warfare like the newest one?
Yeah, I played Modern Warfare 1. And it
Okay.
was fine. Like it was I thought the maps were pretty trash,
That
but the
that was kind
gameplay
of
was
the
good.
sentiment was the maps were pretty
Shit
awful.
maps, yeah,
Yeah.
very bad. But the gameplay was good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know,
excited. It's right
yeah,
around the corner. Um, the next one, this one's kind of interesting, but I kind of felt like it was obvious with the trailer, but maybe there's something a little bit deeper than what most people are thinking, or I've seen some theories, but according to the ESRB rating for Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Link is playable. Again, I thought that was pretty obvious in like in the trailer. Like that's
yeah, it
probably
seemed
the
like that
first.
was
That's how the game opens. Is you play as Link and then you switch over to Zelda. But maybe there's more to it. Maybe it's like you play majority as Zelda, but maybe you have segments of wherever Link goes to. Maybe will play as Link in that area and kind of fight your way out, and then Zelda is the one that ultimately saves you.
yeah, so yeah, I was seeing some people saying that, like, it could be something like the Thousand Year Door, Paper Mario,
Yeah,
where, you play as obviously play as Paper Mario, and then in the intermission between chapters, you play as Peach
yeah,
for a little bit. Maybe
that's
that's
cool.
what it is. Like, maybe, like, you play for, 15 to 20 minutes as Link, and something happens, and you have to
Yeah.
or you get to, go back to playing as
And to be
Zelda. I don't
honest,
know.
like, I've seen a lot of people that are like, "Oh, yes, we can play as Link." You played as Link as in every single game ever made, like,
You've got
it's
enough
okay.
of
Yeah,
them.
like, if we never play as Link outside of, like, the opening, and that's not guaranteed, but, um, I'm okay with that, like, I'm just ready
It's
like,
fine.
the Zelda is such a refreshing, like, I don't know, it's just such a different experience than a lot of other games out there, and this one looks like it's gonna be doing something way different than a traditional, like, 2D over the top Zelda. I'm very excited for this game.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. My one hope is that the frame rate holds up
Yes,
compared
that's the
to Link's
thing.
Awakening because that
Same engine, it looks like, same art style.
and hopefully they've had more time to master you know, the system of the Nintendo Switch in their development. But yeah, I mean that was like the one disappointment with
I mean, that was what, 2019 was when that game came out?
yeah, 2019.
So, I mean, they've
So
had
5
5
years ago.
years. Jesus Christ. Um,
But otherwise, I'm really excited for this game.
yeah,
I think
looks
the
cool.
the concept is really cool. Of like not directly fighting, but using Zelda's arsenal to fight your battles for you. I think that's a great
Do you
concept.
think we get other abilities outside of just, like, the copy and paste stuff?
I think so.
Okay.
I think
That was my only worry is,
eventually
like, it but go ahead.
I think eventually there will be ways to take on enemies like head on, whether that
Okay.
be through magic or some other something else. But
Yeah.
I think there will be a way
Okay.
to attack enemies
Okay.
because you can't always expect the player to have an arsenal of like saved enemies in your like whatever like in your like thing.
Yeah, 'cause I'd imagine, I mean, it literally looks like the item, viewer from, like, Tears of the Kingdom, right? Or Breath of the
Right.
Wild.
It's like ripped
So,
straight
I'm
from
wondering how many and I'm sure maybe, like, there's probably also an upgrade where you can unlock more and more and more, inventory slots to add more stuff. But also it's like, do you copy and paste and do you get that ability or do you get that item or enemy forever? Or is it only again, like, is it only a certain amount of time you have it? Or is it like a certain slot that you have it and you have to replace it with something else?
Mhm.
I guess we'll learn about that in the future, but
I
yeah.
don't know. I just feel like there's one more twist.
Think so?
Yeah. And whether that be like a simple twist, like, oh, you can attack enemies, or an additional ability that Zelda has that
Yeah.
makes her more engaging to play as. I think there's one more twist coming that's gonna be revealed closer to launch.
Do you think this is a sequel to Link's Awakening? Or is it just like whatever? Because like I've seen a lot of theories and stuff like that, of course. Because like people,
I mean, it's the same world
I don't know, man. Like after like all the hype with Tears of the Kingdom had, like with the
with the
moon
lore.
theories that I've seen and like the lore and stuff like that, like
It's gonna be simple.
I was all on board. And then once we got to it, it's like, no, this is like but they don't give a shit about the timeline. And I think that's what a lot of people have issues with. Nintendo just doesn't care. I think they just created the timeline just to create it and have something there, but I don't
To
think
have
they're
a
thinking about it when
story.
they're making games.
Yeah.
This is
Ah,
probably a standalone adventure, but it would be cool, like, if this was like a sequel to Link's Awakening. Again, I think I talked about it last time we talked about it, is like when Link falls into the goop, like, that's when he starts his Link's Awakening adventure. Like,
that'd be cool.
that could be an interesting kind of idea, but it's probably not that.
How did A Link Between Worlds tie into A Link's Awakening? Did that tie in story-wise, or was it just the world? Like, okay, now you're going to well,
See,
no,
I
it
always
all
thought A
took place
Link
in the same
Between
place.
World was like a reimagining of A Link to the Past, but maybe I'm wrong. I could
Maybe
be.
no, I think you're right. Mhm.
They didn't specifically talk about, like, low roll in Link to the Past, right? It was just
No, no.
yeah. I'm excited, like, I hope it has, like, its, like, traditional dungeons again, but it's also I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I do kinda miss that. Yeah, a as good as Tears of the Kingdom is, like, I do miss
Traditional.
traditional Zelda.
I think there will be traditional dungeons. I just think there will be multiple ways to go about solving any of the
Yeah.
puzzles because they can't expect you to have any specific item at any specific time.
Or they wipe you, like, when you enter a dungeon, they just, like, simply wipe your or you can't use what you brought in. You have to use
Yeah,
what you acquire or what you find in that specific dungeon, so that could
then
be a
they
way
can
of
build
them.
it around
Yeah.
certain yeah,
Which is
in a
what
way
I
that
wish they would have done in Tears of the Kingdom. I wish they would have took away all of your abilities and then just you acquired, even if they were items that were only useful in that area. I wish they kinda would have done it that way to kind of preserve that traditional dungeon aspect of Zelda, but obviously they didn't do that, and they continued on with the same mechanics that the overworld has, but
right. I can't remember. Did you also cheese the fire
for sure. I
to
liked that dungeon, but it was also, like, kinda
how
confusing.
how the hell were you supposed to do it naturally?
It was very confusing. Like, it was to the point where I was, like, getting to the top, and then I would fly down to a ledge, and then I was able to just barely get the descend, ability to use, and
Oh,
then I would
yeah,
go up or whatever. So, that was a cool it was a cool like, visually, it was cool, but that one was very confusing.
right. Yeah, hopefully it's not that confusing
Yeah.
in Echoes of Wisdom, but yeah,
Still
we'll
cool,
see.
nonetheless.
Still cool.
Nick, you wanna read the next one?
Yeah. So this is kind of a rumor, not obviously not confirmed, but Crash Bandicoot 5 was apparently canceled internally like a few years ago. I think this might have been before the Microsoft acquisition of Activision, but yeah, apparently Crash 5 is canceled. It's not in development. Um, this is kind of weird because I thought Crash 4 did relatively well, and I thought
It did very well for
the like re-release of 1 through 3 did really well
yeah,
too.
'cause they
Like
did that. They had, like, that racing game that come out. Like, Crash was, like, pretty big again.
for a couple of years, right? Like
Yeah.
it had a pretty good mind share, and then I guess it
I think I
didn't do
have
well
Crash 4,
enough.
but I haven't actually played it. I think I got it after we had finished, the Spyro Reignited trilogy, which is
Okay,
so good, but, um,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, that's
yeah, kind of
I
just
think
kind of weird. Like
Xbox will I think they'll bring that back. They'll bring back Crash because, like, again, like, it sold very well. Like, I think it sold, like was it, like, 10,000,000 copies? It was
Crash
pretty
4,
yeah, it was pretty
I don't know if it
substantial.
sold 10 million.
Crash 4, It's About Time, sales.
I would say like 2 to 3
Oh,
million.
it was 5 million copies, so half, but still
Damn,
pretty good for a
that's
game that
that's
probably wasn't
really
super
good for a
expensive.
platformer.
Yeah, and for a platformer game, which they're more or less, like,
Damn.
dead.
How does a game that sell 5 million copies, how does a sequel to that game get canceled? That's
'Cause
so insane.
they all got, like, embedded in Call of Duty development.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
w
because Toys for Bob
it was Toys for
got
Bob, wasn't it?
swept in.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, yeah, Toys for Bob and, whoever was behind the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2
yeah, which was
remake,
weird, like,
they
why?
got pulled in.
Yeah, I really hope Xbox just and Microsoft figures out something with these old Activision franchises that have been kind of pushed aside, like, man, if they could get, like, a really cool, like, Tony Hawk game back to, like, its arcadey roots, like, we don't I don't necessarily need it to be like a skate, you know, or a session,
No,
like,
no.
I would love, like, just a new traditional Tony Hawk game. That could be sick, but I don't know, make it free to play, I don't give a damn, just bring it back.
Yeah, bring back
Put your battle your I don't know, your
your
board
battle, your skate
passes,
pass, yeah,
your skate
skate
pass,
park
whatever.
pass, whatever. Bring that back, bring back Spyro, bring back Crash. Like, they're like, Xbox has so many opportunities now with all of these dead franchises that could be brought back for easy goodwill. They might not sell millions and millions of copies, but, they'll
I mean,
sell a
5 million for
couple
Crash 4
million.
and that game probably did not take a lot. Probably didn't cost a lot to make, I can't imagine. So,
Probably not.
that's pretty good. I know Toys for Bob, is on their own, but they're contracted with Xbox. Do we know exactly what they're making, or is it still a secret for now?
I don't think we know.
Okay. I imagine it's gotta be a platformer, right? Like, so hopefully they
Yeah.
bring back one of the 2.
Yeah, man, I'm glad they went out on their own because they got out of the Call of Duty umbrella.
Yeah.
But hopefully they're working on, some sort
I
of
kinda wanna
beloved
be the
franchise.
Spyro. I kinda wanna see Spyro come back
I bet Brittany
again.
would love
Oh,
a new
yeah.
Spyro. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah. Ha
Yeah, yeah, we need
has
more
there
3D action platformers.
has there been an official Spyro 4?
No, because they a different develop because it was what, was it Neversoft or was it who made the original? I think it was Neversoft, and they moved on to Tony Hawk. Oh, no, it
Hmm.
was Insomniac. Jeez, okay. Yeah, because it was Insomniac
Oh,
with
wow.
Spyro, and then it was Naughty Dog with Crash. So yeah, I think
Right.
they did their trilogy, and then there was a second trilogy on PlayStation that came out on PlayStation 2, um, that weren't received as well. But no,
Mhm.
there has not been, I don't think, a Spyro 4
An
officially.
official.
So that could be pretty
Okay.
cool,
Yeah.
but we'll see. We'll see. You wanna read
Alright.
the, last story?
Yeah, last up here, also kind of a leak. Take it for take it with salt, whatever you wanna do.
Take
Salt,
the salt,
pepper.
throw it over your shoulder,
Yeah, throw it over your
salt your
shoulder, spin around 3
wounds.
times, whatever. 343 going forward is allegedly just going to supervise development of future Halo games. They're not going to be the developer on those games, and
Interesting.
that development is gonna be outsourced to other teams outside of Xbox, and, this is all hearsay, but allegedly Microsoft, Xbox is not satisfied with 343's, you know, development of the recent Halo games. They haven't
Makes sense.
done as well they done as well as they've wanted them to financially. Halo Infinite to be specific. Um, so I mean there's not much more to it than that, but it definitely does open up a discussion of, you know, what has 343's legacy been with Halo? I know they started with did they start with Reach or did they start with Halo 4? They
Yeah.
started with 4.
Reach was Bungie's last Halo
Reach was
game.
a banger. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it started with 4, did 5, did Infinite, did the Master Chief Collection as
they did that.
well.
Yep.
And that, of course, launched very poorly. But
I think probably looking back, I think the reputation with Halo is probably tarnished a little bit. I mean, Halo 4, I thought, I mean, it's a hard shoe to fill, right? Coming from Bungie, and while I don't really care for Destiny at all, um, I mean, Bungie, what they did with Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach, and
ODST.
ODST. I mean, just Halo 1, 2, and 3 was like a perfect trilogy. I thought
Yeah.
it was so good. Um, and obviously Reach was like so like it was really different from Halo 2, 1, 2, and 3.
But it was exciting though.
It was
Remember at the
exciting,
time,
like,
yeah.
playing as elites with, like they had, like, the rolling mechanic and stuff, like, all that stuff, like, was really, really cool, like, that's when they introduced, like, the bubble shield. No, I think that was Halo 3. Um,
The jetpack in
yeah, they had,
Reach,
like, the jetpack in Reach, they had a lot of cool mechanics.
sprinting.
Yeah, sprinting was it was also like a armored core, I can't remember what they called it. And then Halo 4 was,
Okay.
like, kinda the same thing. I think they took that away and they added sprinting. One of the newer Halo games, they just made sprinting just a
I think
standalone
4.
option. And then Halo 5 was like, the multiplayer was really cool, like, they had, like, the Spartan, like, assassinations and stuff like that. I don't know, man, like, I liked what, 343 has done with Halo, but obviously something is not working. I mean, that Master Chief Collection was a train wreck when that came out.
It
And
didn't work.
granted, it was, like, 10 engines running at the same time, so, like, I get it, especially because like, Halo 1, you could swap between the 2 engines, and then Halo 2, they eventually did that as well, and
Oh,
then,
yeah.
yeah, it just ran like garbage. I mean, you could never find a game, which sucked. And then Halo 5, like, I still need to go back and play the Halo 5 story, um, but obviously not being able to play as Master Chief the entire time, a lot of people didn't like.
Right.
They made that mistake with Halo 2 with the Arbiter, and in Halo 3, they swung that back to where you could play fully as Master Chief, which people I think preferred. Um, and Infinite, Infinite was, I think there was a lot of negativity around Infinite, from people that just didn't play it, but also like the game, there was like a 2 month gap where that game was just not playable because like Big Team Battle broke and it just broke
Like
the
all
rest of
of
the game.
December.
Yeah, it was like the entire month of December, like, it put them back on their season, like, the first season was, like, 7 months or 6 months long, entirely too long. Season 2 was the same thing, and then finally season 3, I think, is where they hit their stride, but by that point, like, people were already
People were
gone,
already gone.
and people didn't wanna come back to it, and I thought that's when that game was really good. And now they dropped the whole season thing, and now I think it's now, like, a month-long kind of like mini battle pass, like a 20 tier free to play, like, or not free to play, but like a free battle pass, but you can pay money
Yeah.
to get some of like the stuff. So I think they're trying to hold on to this game as long as they can. I don't know. Maybe I'm excited for them to step away but what are they going to be doing? Like, they can't just be a
Well,
supervisor role.
the apparently they've been downsized a lot from like 500 employees to 200,
Okay.
and a lot of those are supervisory management positions that are more on the back end, not
Yeah.
necessarily on the development side. We'll see if that's actually true, but I mean, 343 they've had a good
They've had 3 games, 4, well, I'm not gonna count Master Chief Collection, but they've had 3 games to, like,
to make an impact.
get it right, and I feel like every game, it is not as good as the last. Like, I really liked Infinite. I thought Infinite story-wise was better than 5, and
Yeah, yeah,
still the best grappling hook in video games, in my opinion.
unbeatable.
The open world
Unbeatable.
stuff, open-ish world stuff was really cool.
it
I don't
got
know.
off
I'm
to such a good start, right?
It
Like
did.
with the multiplayer working at launch, and
Yeah,
then
it's great.
yeah, and then the campaign mode coming out, like we were all in on it, right?
Yeah,
And
because
then
they dropped multiplayer first, right? And then they added the
like
campaign
Shadow
like
dropped it,
in
yeah,
November, and then December is when it fell.
broke,
But I don't know. I've always thought that they should make more Halo games than just a numbered one. They should do another ODST. They should do like a horror Halo game. Like I'm all for there's that world is that the lore is so much they could do literally whatever they want with that, and I think it could be cool, and I think it can work.
right?
But I also say that about every game, like Gears of War. I feel like could have a spinoff and be really good. Whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot of untapped territory that I think that Sony does a better job of tapping into
Yeah,
than Xbox does.
for
Even though
sure.
Xbox has like a lot of really good franchises, they're just not like they're not willing to go outside of those mainline like numbered
Yeah,
entries in the series.
but we're getting Gears of War. That's not Gears
Yeah,
6,
yeah, we're getting the
so
and that looks
that's
really
pretty
great.
exciting. Yeah, that looks exciting. I don't know. I'm just obviously like Halo is so nostalgic for me. I mean, that was like Halo 2. I mean, being like one of the first like console online games was such a blast
Right.
back in the day. And obviously you can't hold on to nostalgia forever. And sometimes, franchises just die. But I feel like Halo is such an important game in the gaming space. And it's just in a weird spot right now because it's a hard market to be in, especially for multiplayer stuff. Like it's just
And
where
free
do
to
you
play
go?
too.
And they had the free to play, but people are just they're into the battle royales right now. Um, but also it's like it's hard to get into battle royales because you have like your Fortnites, you have your PUBGs, you have your Apexes, and those are kind of the big three. And it's hard to take away people's time for something new because they're gonna
Right.
play it for a few weeks and then they're just gonna drop off and go back to what they know.
They'll try it out and
Yeah,
then yeah, whatever their friends go to or whatever they decide to go to, like it's hard. It's hard to
yeah.
make an impact.
Like not to be pessimistic, but like I've seen the Concord gameplay and it just looks very bland to me. I know
Yeah.
people have been like 50-50 about it. Like some people really like it, some people are it's like whatever. And I haven't played it personally, so I don't really have much opinions on it. But it's also a $40 game to jump into. That's multiplayer only. It's hard
It's
to
like
it's easy to be pessimistic about it because you're like, okay, this thing is probably DOA.
yeah, probably a little bit,
But who knows?
but
Maybe it'll be really good. I don't know. But
yeah,
multiplayer is I don't know. I just would not want to
it's
be
tough.
a multiplayer developer right now.
Yeah, much rather be an indie developer or someone pretty small.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that I think is going to wrap up the news, and that's going to wrap up the show. We appreciate everyone that's been watching live with us. You can always watch us live every Monday around 8:45 ish. Usually when we decide
Yeah,
to launch it
8:45.
up.
Yeah,
Eight
that's
forty
good.
five
Good
ish.
metric.
Um, is there anything? Is Flintlock this week?
Yeah, I think it's this Thursday, Friday.
Is it this Thursday? Okay, gotcha. And then I think that Path of the Goddess game is also this week, right? Like
Yeah, and
there's
then NES.
quite a bit coming out.
NES is also this week.
Oh yeah, I do have that pre-order. That should be coming in Friday. Thanks Danielle. Appreciate you hanging out with us. So yeah, we're starting. I think we're starting to get back into the flow of
Game
a little bit
releases.
of a break, which is
August will be pretty
stacked.
pretty stacked. Harrison, did you pick up SteamWorld Dig 2 on the Nintendo Switch?
I haven't yet because my Switch is dead. But I've got it. I'll pick it up if I never play it. I'll pick it up to support the dev.
Support the dev, support SteamWorld
I mean,
Heist
it's
2
what
coming out.
$2.99, $3.99.
It's $3.99.
I've probably got the points to just buy it for free.
Freaking love it, dude. If you actually played it, I promise you
Okay,
love it.
what's the gameplay again? I know you've told me before.
Metroidvania.
Metro. Okay, it's Metrovania. Okay, all right, cool,
But,
cool,
like,
cool.
you dig down and you collect stuff and you go back up, you buy more stuff to help you go further down,
Okay, okay.
and you get stuff and you go back up, rinse and repeat.
This
Except
is on
it's
Game Pass, isn't it?
yeah, it's also on Game Pass.
Okay. Yeah, it feels like more of a Switch game.
Do whatever you want. You gotta play
On
this
that
game, man.
OLED. I did pre-order the Zelda Switch Lite.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Shut up.
I might cancel it, but I saw it went up. I was like,
Had to get in there.
how to get in there. It was like $209, and it comes with like a year's worth of Switch Online, like the
That's
expansion
pretty
pack.
good.
So I was like, that's like an extra $50 right there. So I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see. I'll see where my heart takes me on that one. But yeah, we appreciate everyone listening and watching. You can text the show if you want to, if you ever have any questions, game related or whatever. Or just talk about some of your favorite games this year. Description is in the show notes. You literally just text us. It's actually pretty cool. Review us on your favorite podcasting platform of choice. That is greatly appreciated. And we'll be back next week with some more games to talk about. More news.
More news.
Yeah. Nick, last thoughts?
I have no thoughts. I hope everyone has I hope everyone has a great week.
All right, guys. Bye-bye. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.